Welcome to another episode of Explained by AI, where we dive deep into central bank digital currencies,
CBDCs.
or CBDCs for short.
Right.
These are digital versions of a country's currency issued and backed by the central bank.
Yeah, so it's essentially the digital equivalent of physical cash.
Oh, okay.
But instead of, carrying it around in your wallet, it lives in a digital wallet on your phone or computer.
I see.
Yeah.
So why are governments around the world suddenly so interested in creating these digital versions of their currencies?
Well, I think there are several key drivers.
Okay.
One major push is the need to modernize payment systems.
Uh-huh.
Think about how slow and expensive it can be to send money internationally right now.
Right. Yeah.
CBDCs could make cross-border payments much faster, cheaper, and more efficient.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And a more efficient system could lead to greater financial inclusion, I imagine.
Absolutely. CBDCs could provide access to banking services for millions of people who are currently unbanked.
Wow.
Especially in developing countries. Imagine a world where anyone with a smartphone can open a digital wallet and participate in the global economy.
That's pretty exciting.
It is.
But I've also heard some concerns about CBDCs, especially when it comes to privacy.
Yeah, privacy is a huge concern. With CBDCs, governments could potentially track every single transaction you make.
Oh, wow.
That level of surveillance could be used for legitimate purposes, like preventing crime. But it also raises concerns about potential misuse and government overreach.
Right, so it's a trade-off between efficiency and privacy.
Sure.
Are there other concerns people have raised about CBDCs?
Definitely cybersecurity is a major one.
Okay.
A digital currency system is a prime target for hackers.
Uh-huh.
Imagine the economic chaos if a country's entire CBDC system was compromised.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
And what about the impact on traditional banks?
Yeah, if people start holding most of their money in CBDC wallets,
Right.
commercial banks could lose a significant chunk of their deposits.
Makes sense.
This could disrupt the banking system as we know it and potentially create financial instability.
So CBDCs have the potential to revolutionize the way we use money,
They do.
but they also come with some significant risks and challenges.
That's right. It's important to weigh the potential benefits against these concerns as we move forward.
What about the potential benefits?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned faster and cheaper cross-border payments.
Right.
And increased financial inclusion.
Yeah.
But are there other upsides to CBDCs?
Yeah, for governments, CBDCs offer a way to potentially implement certain economic policies more effectively.
Oh, okay.
Imagine, for example, if a central bank wanted to encourage spending during a recession.
Okay.
With a CBDC, they could implement negative interest rates more directly,
Oh, interesting.
essentially making it costly to hold on to large sums of money.
So instead of letting your money sit in a savings account
Right.
and slowly lose value,
Yeah.
you'd be more likely to spend it or invest it,
Exactly.
stimulating the economy.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept.
It is, though. Its effectiveness is debatable.
Sure.
Another potential benefit is increased transparency in transactions,
Uh-huh.
making it harder for criminals to hide illicit activities.
That could make a real difference in the fight against money laundering and other financial crimes.
Absolutely.
But given all these potential risks, are governments still pushing forward with CBDCs?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay.
Some countries like China are moving full speed ahead with their digital yuan.
Yeah.
Others like the Eurozone and the US are taking a more cautious approach,
I see.
focusing on research and development before making any major commitments.
So it sounds like a lot of countries are still trying to figure out how to balance the potential benefits of CBDCs with the very real risks.
Exactly, and it's a complex equation with a lot of moving parts.
And as governments grapple with these decisions, another player has emerged on the scene.
Oh yeah,
Stablecoins.
stablecoins.
These are digital tokens designed to maintain a stable value, usually pegged to a traditional currency like the US dollar.
Right, so they offer an alternative path to a more digital financial system, but with its own set of benefits and risks.
That's right. And that's a conversation we'll dive into in more detail in the next part of our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to unpacking that. But for now, we've covered a lot of ground on CBDCs.
Yeah.
What's your main takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think the main takeaway is this.
Okay.
The way we use and think about money is changing rapidly.
Uh-huh.
CBDCs, whether we embrace them or not, represent a major shift in the global financial system.
It's not just an abstract economic concept. It's about our individual and collective financial future.
Exactly. It's important to understand what CBDCs are, how they might affect you, and what choices you have as an individual.
So stay informed, stay engaged, and ask yourself,
Yes.
what role do you want to play in this evolving landscape?
The future of finance is being shaped right now. We all have a voice in this.
This has been an insightful look into the world of CBDCs. We'll continue our deep dive in the next episode, exploring stablecoins and their role in this financial revolution.
Sounds good.
Do you have any topic that you would like to have explained?
Yeah.
Drop in the comments.
So let's shift gears a little bit and explore stablecoins,
Okay.
which have emerged as kind of a fascinating counterpart to CBDCs.
Okay.
These digital tokens are pegged to stable assets like the US dollar,
Yeah.
and they aim to provide the benefits of digital currencies
Okay.
while mitigating the volatility that's often associated with cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it's interesting how stablecoins have kind of snuck up on the scene.
They have.
They seem to be offering a lot of the same benefits as CBDCs,
Right.
but without the direct control of governments.
You're right. Stablecoins like Tether and USD Coin, they allow for faster payments, lower transaction fees, and greater accessibility, particularly for people in regions with limited banking infrastructure.
Yeah.
They're essentially creating a parallel financial system
Right.
that operates alongside traditional institutions.
It sounds like a more free market approach to digital currencies,
Yeah.
driven by innovation and consumer demand,
Right.
rather than top-down government mandates.
That's a good way to put it. But this freedom and lack of centralized control also come with certain risks.
What would those be?
One of the biggest concerns with stablecoins is transparency.
What do you mean by transparency?
Well, to maintain their stability,
Okay.
most stablecoins claim to be backed by reserves of real assets,
Uh-huh.
like US dollars or government bonds.
Okay.
But there have been questions about whether some stablecoin issuers
Okay.
actually hold enough reserves to fully back their tokens.
So it comes down to trust.
It does.
Users need to be confident that the stablecoin they're using
Right.
is actually backed by real assets
It's exactly.
and not just empty promises.
And this lack of transparency has led to calls for greater regulation of the stablecoin industry.
I see.
Governments are concerned about potential financial instability if a major stablecoin were to collapse due to insufficient reserves.
It's a bit like the Wild West out there right now,
Yeah.
with a lot of innovation happening,
Right.
but not much oversight.
That's a fair assessment. But this lack of regulation is also what attracts many users to stablecoins in the first place.
Interesting.
They offer a level of financial freedom and autonomy
Like-
that you don't get with traditional banking or even CBDCs.
So it's a trade-off between freedom and security.
It is.
Users have to decide what level of risk they're comfortable with.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that not all stablecoins are created equal.
Oh, okay. Good point.
Some are much more transparent and reputable than others. It's crucial for users to do their research and choose stablecoins from issuers they trust.
And this is where education becomes so important.
Absolutely.
The average person may not know how to evaluate different stablecoins
Right.
or assess the risks involved.
You're right. As this technology becomes more mainstream, financial literacy will be more important than ever.
Makes sense.
People need to understand how these systems work and what the potential risks and rewards are.
So we've got CBDCs on one side,
Right.
representing a more centralized approach to digital currencies,
Yeah.
and stablecoins on the other, offering a more decentralized alternative.
Yeah.
It feels like we're at a crossroads in the evolution of money.
It really is a fascinating time. The way we use and think about money is undergoing a fundamental transformation.
Wow.
And it's happening right before our eyes.
And the choices we make today, both as individuals and as a society, will shape the financial landscape for generations to come.
I think that's a powerful insight. It's not just about technology.
Yeah.
It's about values. Do we prioritize stability and control or freedom and innovation?
Right.
These are the questions we need to be asking ourselves as we navigate this new era of digital finance.
And those questions apply not just to governments and central banks,
Right.
but to each of us as individuals.
Exactly.
What kind of financial future do we want to be a part of?
It's time to start thinking about these issues, doing our research and engaging in these conversations.
For sure.
The future of money is being shaped right now, and we all have a voice in it.
We've talked about the potential benefits and risks of both CBDCs and stablecoins.
We have.
But let's step back for a moment
Okay.
and consider the bigger picture.
Sure.
What are the broader implications of this shift towards a more digital financial system?
Okay.
What does it mean for the future of money itself?
That's a great question. We're potentially looking at a future where physical cash becomes increasingly irrelevant,
Wow.
replaced by digital wallets and transactions that happen instantaneously.
I could see how that would create a lot of efficiencies.
It would.
But what about the potential downsides?
One major concern is privacy.
Okay.
As we move towards a cashless society, every transaction we make could be tracked and recorded. This raises questions about surveillance data security and the potential for misuse of this information.
It sounds like we're giving up a lot of control over our financial lives
Potentially.
in exchange for convenience and efficiency.
That's a valid concern, and it's something that needs to be addressed carefully.
For sure.
We need to be thinking about how to protect privacy in a digital world and how to ensure that these new financial systems are used responsibly.
And what about security?
Oh, yeah.
If all of our money is digital, wouldn't that make us more vulnerable to cyber attacks?
Absolutely. Cybersecurity becomes paramount in a digital financial system.
I see.
We need robust systems and safeguards to protect against hacking fraud and other cyber threats.
Okay.
One major cyber attack could have devastating consequences for individuals and the economy as a whole.
It seems like there are a lot of trade-offs to consider.
There are.
Efficiency versus privacy, innovation versus security, centralized control versus decentralized freedom.
You're right. There are no easy answers here.
Right.
But that's what makes this such a fascinating and important conversation.
Yeah.
We need to be having these discussions, weighing the pros and cons, and making informed choices about the kind of financial future we want to create.
And it's not just a matter of choosing between CBDCs and stablecoins.
Yeah.
There are other innovations happening in the world of finance, like decentralized finance or DeFi, that are further blurring the lines and challenging traditional notions of banking and money.
You've hit on an important point. The financial landscape is rapidly evolving, and it's difficult to predict exactly what it will look like in 5 or 10 years.
Right.
But one thing is certain things are changing.
Yeah.
And we all need to be prepared for what's coming.
So what's our call to action for listeners?
Oh, okay.
What can they do to be active participants in shaping this financial revolution?
First and foremost, I encourage everyone to educate themselves. Dive deeper into the topics we've discussed today. Read articles, listen to podcasts, and talk to people who are knowledgeable about these issues.
Yeah.
The more you understand, the better equipped you'll be to navigate this evolving landscape.
And don't just be a passive observer.
No.
Get involved in the conversation.
Yes.
Talk to your friends and family about these issues.
Right.
Share what you've learned. Ask questions.
Exactly.
The more we talk about these things, the more awareness we create. And the more likely we are to make informed decisions as a society.
I think that's a great point. It's also important to experiment.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to try out different financial technologies and see how they fit into your life.
Yeah.
The best way to learn is by doing.
So be curious, be open-minded, and be willing to step outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
The future of finance is being built right now, and it's up to all of us to shape it in a way that benefits humanity.
I completely agree. It's an exciting time to be alive with so much innovation and potential for positive change. But it also requires us to be vigilant and thoughtful to ensure that the future of finance serves humanity rather than the other way around.
This has been a fantastic deep dive into the world of CBDCs, stablecoins, and the broader evolution of money.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground, but this is really just the beginning of the conversation.
We'll continue to explore these topics and many others as the financial landscape continues to evolve.
In the meantime, we encourage you to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay curious.
Yes.
The future of finance is being written right now.
It is.
And we all have a role to play in shaping it.
You know, it's crucial to remember that this isn't just about technology or economics.
Right.
This is about the future of how we interact with value, how we participate in the economy, and ultimately how we shape our society.
We often take money for granted.
We do.
But it truly is the lifeblood of any economy.
It is.
And the changes happening now have the potential to reshape the very fabric of our society.
They do. Imagine a world where access to financial services is truly universal, where small businesses can easily transact across borders, where transactions are transparent and efficient, and where individuals have greater control over their financial data.
It sounds almost utopian.
It does.
But, like you said earlier, there are also potential risks.
There are.
Like increased surveillance and control, cybersecurity threats.
Yeah.
And the potential for these technologies to exacerbate existing inequalities.
Which is why it's so important for us to be actively engaged in shaping this future.
Right.
We can't just sit back and let these technologies unfold without our input.
So what does active engagement look like for the average person? What can we actually do to influence this evolution of finance?
Well, education is key.
Okay.
The more people understand about these technologies, the better equipped they'll be to make informed decisions and advocate for policies that align with their values.
Right.
Read articles, attend webinars, engage in discussions about these topics.
So it's about empowering ourselves with knowledge and understanding.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Oh, okay.
Try out different digital wallets, explore decentralized finance platforms, and see how these technologies work in practice.
Okay.
The best way to learn is by doing.
So it's about embracing a mindset of curiosity and exploration.
Another important step is to engage with policymakers and regulators.
Okay.
Let them know your concerns about privacy, security, and the potential social impact of these technologies.
Yeah.
Advocate for regulations that strike a balance between fostering innovation and protecting the public interest.
It's about making our voices heard and shaping the regulatory landscape.
It is, and finally support organizations and initiatives that are working to promote financial inclusion and literacy.
Yeah.
Help ensure that these technologies are used to empower individuals and communities, not just to benefit the wealthy and powerful.
It's about ensuring that this financial revolution benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly. This is a time of great change and uncertainty, but it's also a time of immense opportunity.
Yeah.
We have the chance to create a financial system that is more equitable, more efficient, and more accessible for all.
It's a call to action for each of us to step up, engage, and help shape the future of finance.
It's not just about the technology, it's about the values we embed in these systems and the future we want to create.
This has been an incredible journey exploring the world of CBDCs, stablecoins, and the broader evolution of money.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the technical details to the philosophical implications.
It's been a fascinating conversation, and I hope it sparked a sense of curiosity and a desire to learn more.
For sure.
Yeah.
Remember, the future of finance is being written right now, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Absolutely.
Do you have any topic that you would like to have explained? Drop it in the comments.